Hello everyone, welcome to the Power Pages webinar. My name is Inosh Nopani. I'm local technical specialist at Microsoft, and I have my buddy Corey Christopher, who is a Power Pages global black belt. And next 1 hour, we are going to give you a high-level overview of Power Pages. Note that we are catering this content so that we can share this to a broader group of customers that are attending the webinar today here. All this webinar will be recorded, and if you have any questions or if you want to dive deeper into topics that were presented into webinar, please feel free to reach out to your account executives or sales executives that you work with for Microsoft. So what is Power Pages? So in short, Power Pages is a fastest way to create modern, highly secured websites using data that you have within Microsoft or outside Microsoft platform. And a lot of our customers utilize Power Pages to create websites and web pages for their employees. So they may create a help desk, internal IT help desk, right? And Power Pages can be a UI that they interact with. Or a lot of customers also use Power Pages to create a partner portal where partner can share more about the opportunities or deals they are working with the company that they are working with, right? And similarly, you can use Power Pages for customer service as well, right? Your customers can go to your Power Pages and log issues and ask questions they have around your businesses or around the products that they are using with. So Power Pages is one of our key Power Platform solution. So why Power Pages is really important, right? And when we talk about websites, these are some of the common challenges that you see when you're building a website, right? So you may have some budgets, but you may have time constraints, right? So you need to spin up something quickly. You may need to deploy a new experience for employees, maybe in a matter of few weeks or months, right? And going through traditional website development takes months at least. And if you want to add more features and add integration, collaboration, chatbots and stuff like that, it can get much more complex, right? The other one is you may have data that are living in several different places, right? And we see this with a lot of our customers that they want Power Pages as a single pane of glass so that the end user who is using Power Pages, whether it's their customer or partner, are able to have holistic view of everything they're working on with the client. So you may have data that are living in several places, and the cost of integrating those are pretty high, right? So and you may also want to have a highly pixel perfect websites without highly pixel perfect website, and you may not have the right resources. And furthermore, one of the key challenges we see with website development is security and compliance risk, especially when you are trying to create partner portal or portals for your contractors and as well as employees. You want to think security as top of mind, right? Because you don't want the information to be fully shared. You want to be more restrictive on what you can share and how it's being used and authorized. So these are some of the common challenges we see with modern website developments, right? And a lot of customers end up using several different solutions to reach this. So for creating website, they may use Salesforce maybe, right? And now they may need some other capabilities within their website that they created, so they may have to use some other integration tools, right? So they may buy integration tools like MuleSoft or even Dell Boomi and so on, right? So what they end up with is, they end up with a lot of point-to-point click solutions, and the goal is again same, right? The goal is to create that single pane of glass websites for your customers, and this really results in highly increased complexity. So now you need to have admins and resources within in-house that are well versed in all this different technology you may use, right? And furthermore, securing and governing those vendors' application is much more challenging as well. The TCO is also pretty high than what you were previously agreed with, because now you have to think about integration, you have to think about how to scale all these individual vendors, and as well as how to have your internal resources being enabled on all these different technologies, right? So there is a lot of factors that really increases the TCO as well, and as well as you need support for all these different vendors. But within Microsoft, we provide you all these capabilities within one single umbrella, and that's Microsoft Cloud. Uh, we provide you with that with single point of admin, security, and governance. So if you have an admin that is well versed in Microsoft Azure or Power Platform, then you are able to handle pretty much all the governance and admin related stuff for Power Pages and Power Platform. Now we have more integrated architecture, so you don't have to worry about integrating a lot of different tools, right? It's all part of Power Platform portfolio or Microsoft Azure. So it really lowers down your cost and drives lower TCO. And finally, all these applications or solutions that you create within Microsoft can be surfaced within Teams, right? So once you create this Power Pages websites, if you want your end users to be able to utilize this technology directly within Teams, you are just able to publish this as a channel within Microsoft Teams, right? So thus it makes the experience a lot more easier as well, and much more futuristic as well, right? Because nowadays everything happens from Teams or Slack. So we have that capability for you to expand and take the product or the solution that you create based on how the market moves, right? So what is Power Pages? Now, Power Pages is part of Microsoft Power Platform portfolio. If you're familiar with Power Platform, we have a low-code technology, right, that allows you to create business applications way faster. And we also have Power Automate, which allows you to integrate with more than 1,500 different online vendors, and as well as any vendors that support REST API, right? And then we have Power BI that allows you to add analytics. So the key advantage here is that all this data lives in same place called Dataverse, which is our common data platform. Now, this enables you to be able to create that single pane of glass, right? So especially when we are talking about Power Pages use cases, key use case for Power Pages is to be able to aggregate the information in one single place and have that holistic view, right? From partner's point of view, if you're working with customers, you want to see all the deals you are engaged with, and also be able to run analytics on those and track certain KPIs, right? This is where our Dataverse really plays well, because we are able to aggregate data from various different sources into Dataverse, and now we're able to surface that as an experience within Power Pages. You'll see this in the demo as well when Corey does that. But so all of these capabilities, whether it's Power Pages, Power Apps, Power Automate, these are all augmented through some of these things that you see in the below. So you have the ability to add Copilot Studio. So you are able to create highly customized chatbots and embed that within Power Pages directly from Microsoft platform. You are able to utilize data connectors that will allow you to integrate into various different sources. You're able to utilize AI Builder. So if your Power Pages has a use case where you need to utilize certain AI capabilities, like maybe you need to extract information from PDFs, right? Invoice PDFs that are uploaded. You're able to utilize AI Builder directly for your automation and utilize that within Power Pages. And similarly, you're able to utilize governance solution like managed environments as well. So let's dive deeper, more specifically into Power Pages. So Power Pages is our low-code way of building websites, right? So we provide you with all the right tools for you to be able to create websites. So you can see here in this example, we have these websites for school registration, right? After school events registration. And this is built within utilizing Power Pages. So within Power Pages, you're able to add all the components that you need within the website, whether it's being able to add gallery, forms, list, and so on. It's all available as a compositional element, right? So you just add it, and you're good to go. You'll see this in demo as well. So Power Pages allows you to bring developers as part of building experience as well, because we have this whole low code way of designing Power Pages. But if you want to have developers involved, then we also provide you to be able to see the code base and start building on that, right? So you are able to edit Power Pages through Visual Code, and within Visual Code you are able to add custom CSS if you want the website to have custom CSS or bootstrapping and stuff like that. You are able to do that as well. So furthermore, a lot of customers utilize Liquid Tag as well, which will allow you to implement some advanced functionalities and UI within your Power Pages as well. Okay, so one of the key advantages of being able to utilize Pro Code tools and Visual Studio is that you're also able to utilize modern ALM practices, like being able to use CI/CD for your DevOps, being able to utilize Azure DevOps and stuff like that, so that you are able to have really good version controlling and as well as good build experience. Yeah, so in the demo, you're going to see that, Corey is going to go to the both sites. He's going to show you the local designer and as well as take you to Visual Studio to show you some of the capabilities from programmer's point of view. Yeah, so again, I don't want to retouch this again, but the idea here is that, hey, so if you like low code and if you can get more of the things done with low code, that's perfect. But you want to add more functionalities and you are more comfortable with coding, you can just go into Visual Code directly by clicking Edit Code from the low code designer, and you are already there. You can utilize our Copilot solution to be able to generate code as well. If you are not familiar with implementing certain functionality, you're able to utilize Copilot, which is our AI solution that will be able to generate code for you based on the prompt. So the idea here is that we really want to help you to create the website that your company wants, and we have all the tools that you need. Okay. Security and governance is one of the top of mind for Power Pages use cases, and there are 6 basic building blocks, right? I think that is really useful for websites, and Power Pages does a really good job. One is built-in support for authentication. So you are able to create several web roles, meaning that several level of people within your organization or could be customer as well, and you are able to have them websites cater according to their roles, right? So based on their authentication, they are able to see the information that they are permitted to. So you have that capability of building that level of customization and authentication for your end user without code. Okay, so it's all configuration based. Now, role-based authorization, you are able to again dictate how the website looks like for the end user. So you may have roles like authenticated user, or you may have roles like administrators, right? Administrators may need to access pretty much everything, while unauthenticated users may not have to see more of proprietary information, right? So you have that level of flexibility within Power Pages. And similarly, we have whole go like checklist, so which basically gives you rundown of all the things that you need to do to make sure that the Power Pages is live, and it guides you throughout that processes. Since Power Pages is based on Microsoft Azure, so you are getting one of the most trusted and reliable infrastructure as a backend, right? And Azure Web Application Firewall is also something that is part of Power Pages, so you are saved from any malicious attacks and stuff like that. And then to improve the responsiveness, we also have turnkey CDN network support, right? So regardless where your website is located, we have CDNs, and our networking services is able to make sure that the responsiveness of site is really well, and you don't experience any latency. And then you also have a way of making sure that you have the website in private mode and public mode, right? So what does that mean is, so whenever you are building a website, you want that to be private. You don't want anyone except the people who are building or anyone you want to share, right, to be able to see. So you have that ability to switch from private to public. In short, Power Pages is a choice for building website for lots of customers because of how easy it allows you to add security and governance. You'll see this in the demo as well when Corey shows you some of the ways he can implement table permissions and stuff like that. Okay, so one of the recent feature that we implemented within Power Pages was Copilot, and we have implemented Copilot in two different ways. One is for authoring experience, and the other one is for generating content, right? So for authoring, you can create websites based on the prompt. You can just define the website you want to create. So you can say, hey, I want to create a employee onboarding page. Can you generate me some templates? And it will be able to generate you the website, right? You are also able to customize themes by just asking the chatbot that you see here. So you can just say, hey, I want to bring the themes from, let's say, from Target website, right? And it will be able to bring that color and basic theming for you directly with the help of natural language. So yeah, we have that ability. You are also able to create forms. All you have to do is you just define the form you want to create. You can say, I want to create a form for customer signups, and it will create fields and create a form for you based on the prompt. And the other capabilities of Copilot we have within Power Pages is ability to generate content. So you are able to generate text, right? So if you're creating a website, you want to have the website needs to have some text, right? So maybe it's to describe your business or so on, and you want to use AI to be able to generate some content. You are able to utilize that as well. So Copilot just augments your Power Pages experience, whether it's for building Power Pages or whether it's for adding content to the Power Pages. So with that, I'll pass through Corey, and yeah, thank you very much for listening to my presentation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Corey Christoffel, a global black belt here at Microsoft on our Power Platform team. And today I'm going to walk you through our Power Pages solution, taking us through from beginning to end, working with our Copilot features, some of our Fusion team features from citizen developers all the way to professional developers, and talking through not just creating websites with pages and content, but also creating sites that are integrated with our data inside of Dataverse and making sure that we secure that all along the way. So our first step here is to land on our make.powerpages.microsoft.com homepage, where we can see all the sites that are currently available inside of our environment, which we can select here from the environment picker in the top right corner, and then choose how we're going to begin our website build. And so we have a couple of options. One, we can start building with Copilot, which we'll talk about in a moment. Other ways we can create sites building from one of our pre-existing templates that have been built. Many of them are sort of cross-solution templates set up to help you start a site with either a really common application or building from basically scratch with just different template options available here. And then, of course, we can start from a blank page, literally building from just the ground up on what we have as a core bit of the solution. If you're working in an environment that has Dynamics 365 in it, you'll find other templates that match up to things like field service or sales, and you can begin from those templates as a starting point as well. But today, we're going to start with our Copilot and build a site from scratch. So the site that we're going to build today is basically building a site for a construction company that has an FAQ page and a projects list page that lets us display the various construction projects that are happening in sites around that company. So our first step is going to be to take that prompt that we gave it and start with a name, which it gave us a little bit of a head start here, gave us a URL that's unique. And in this case, because we're just working through the sample, we'll stick to those. And then it's going to build out a site layout that hopefully meets our needs reasonably. And this is getting pretty close. We can certainly try again and it'll light up another one as we go along. So here we're going to take that site layout, and once we've chosen the layout, it's going to ask us if there are any templates that we want to have included in the site right away. And so we're going to say, yes, we want an FAQ page, and we want an About Us page, let's say, and then a Projects page. And when we're done, we hit Save, and it's going to set up our new site for us all behind the scenes, get that ready for us, and we'll be able to work on that site right away. All right. So after a little break, it took about 2 minutes there, or 3 so far. It dropped us into our website editor, and we've got our site content dropped in right away here. So here in the site editor, we can see a few different sections. Our sort of main navigation here on the left for choosing our proper sections: pages, styling, data, and setup. Then our hierarchy of pages that we're working with in our main navigation and the other pages in our site. And then the main copy block and our Copilot chatbot here on the side. So we're going to start by making some changes to the basic content. Building your dreams with expertise. This is all content that Copilot generated for us in our page. We're going to take some of this content and maybe rewrite it. So we'll take our services section, use Copilot to rewrite the content, and right in line, it takes the content prompt that it already had and starts to adjust it, giving us various options for what we could put in there under our services, whether they be longer or shorter. We can take the tone and change it, make it maybe more professional, updating the text and replacing it as we go along. You'll see we've got various sections to our page: the FAQ that we asked for earlier, and the project list, giving us just sample images as we go along. Now we're going to probably update this with some more dynamic content as we go along the line, but this is what Copilot came up with for us right off the bat. So now that we're here and we've done a little bit of change to our content on the home section, we're going to do a few more critical pieces here, things like editing the site headers. So we're going to add in our company name. We're going to call this, C&M Construction. And you'll see that as we're filling it out, it's dynamically adding it back to the header as we go. We're going to change the site logo by uploading a new image. Got a quick image here from our desktop that will now be added to the site context and the media library that's available for everybody when they create their pages. There we go. There's our logo. We'll add that to the site header there. Nicely done. Change our alt text. And then if we want to, we can go through and, using our current styling, adjust the brand colors in the header, make the navigation changes that we want if we need to, adapt the layout or adapt it to see the different layout choices. And then we'll get into editing code a little bit later, but we can actually go right here and start to edit the code of the header in real time. So now we're done that, save that. Our construction company is listed and branded. And if we move along to our next step, we're going to take our site and start to build out a new page that presents a profile page for our project managers. So create a new page for project manager profiles using Corey. Christopher as the example. So this is going to build out a new page in our site and provide us with a bunch of sample content that's relevant to the prompt that we asked for. We'll see that kicking in just a moment. All right, and after a few moments here, we've got our new page. You can see that AI has generated some HTML for our new page. See project manager profiles. It's got me listed here with 10 years of experience in managing, and we'll continue along the line as we add in new profiles for other project managers. If I want to make a change to one of the images, it's really simple. Similar to what we did in the header here, we can come in, we can grab my picture image, and you'll see we've already had some new images added to the site as we built this page. It brought in some stock imagery for us. Also, we've got a whole library of stock images that we can pull from. For instance, maybe here I want to pull, a quick profile image of someone who has slightly more gray than I do at the moment, and fill in our spot. There we go. All right, now with that, having created our new page, let's go back to the home page and start to build out the section that has our projects in it. So we'll see the project list section here, and it's listing them right now with images and project titles. I think what I'd rather do today for our demo is build out a project list section that reaches into Dataverse and pulls projects from an existing table that we've already built out. Now, in prep for the demo, I built out a quick table that has a form and a list already associated with it, and we're going to use that to build out the rest of our app. So we're going to start with a list. And right now we're going to look for the data that's stored in the project data. So construction project data, we're going to select a view. I've already created a view in the external project list view here that will work for our site. And we'll call this the external project list. We can enable search on the list, so customers could quickly search to find an existing project, and we'll show a maximum of 10 records per page. And right away here, we're going to see a representation of that list and how it would play out. And you'll notice that as soon as we pop the list up, it asked us if we wanted to put a permission on the list to ensure that only the data that we want to make visible is visible. And we're going to do that by creating a new table permission. So you'll see we've got a basic permission here that's being started. It's called external project list permission. It's over the construction project data table. And right now it says global access for all records in the list. And we're going to keep it that way because right now this list is just public projects. We're going to say that only the people that have this permission can read from this list, but they can't actually make any changes to it. They can't append it or append to it, etc. And we're going to give that role to everybody that accesses the site, whether they're anonymous or authenticated. So this role is truly the most global role that you could have over this particular data set. But what we're seeing here is the beginnings of creating a secured data application, because here we could be saying things like, I want my role to apply to authenticated users, and I want them to only have access where their contact record or their account record is directly linked to the data that's in the table, to make sure that we're only showing customers data that they should be seeing. But in this case, the app is pretty straightforward. We'll hit save and save our permission. And it even warned us to say, hey, this is going to make it visible to everyone, just to ensure that we know exactly what we're doing. Now, in our list, we could also choose to do something like set a filter on our list over a column. So we could say that only the ones that were created on a particular day, or only the ones that were in a certain status, we're going to be visible here. But right now, we're just going to stick with the list that we have and move along. Now, there are features of this list that are going to take us beyond what happens in this particular UI. For instance, we might create a form that allows us to edit or view the full details of a particular item in the list. And we'll do that in just a moment. So for now, we're going to create another page in our solution. We're going to call it details, project detail page. We'll start from blank there. We're going to add that page. And you'll notice that it popped up in the navigation. I think we're actually going to move that into the other pages, which will eliminate it from the primary navigation of the site. So now project detail is just in the other pages. It's not going to display in the top bar here. And we're going to create a form on this page. And we could use GPT to help us create it. But right now, we're going to build a new form based on data in a table that we've already defined. So this is, again, going to be construction projects data. We're going to choose the main form that I already started working on, and we'll call it that. In this form, we're going to say that it is read-only. And we're not worried about CAPTCHA or attachments. All right. Sweet. Okay. And there it pops up our existing form just the way we want it. And we will save this out and move back to make sure that we've got everything that we want on the form right now. All right, we're going to add some configurations in our portal management app. So earlier in the demo, I talked about how our Pages sites are going to work with Fusion teams as the delivery. So when we talk about building out inside of a citizen developer type platform, really Pages falls into this zone where what you're building comes out of a Fusion team. So you're going to have those subject matter experts who are knowledgeable in the data that they want to deliver and the kind of app they want to build, even the content that they want on the site. You've seen already how simple it is to create pages and modify the layouts, etc. But when it comes down to building a completed solution, these sites are likely going to include what we would call a Fusion team, people from all across the spectrum of developer backgrounds. And we're going to move through a couple of those different UIs right now. So the first one that we're in here is the design studio. This is probably targeted right at your citizen developer type folks, those that are really comfortable building in sort of Word, PowerPoint, etc. If we move beyond that, we can go into something called the Power Pages Management app, which allows us to view the data under the hood and make deeper changes to our forms and lists. And so if we go to our list page, we can define specifically what's going to happen if somebody clicks on a project in that list. So we'll see here the data that we changed on the website, or in the design studio rather, the name and the table that's going to show with which view. But when we go to the options section, we'll get some deeper options that are available here inside the management studio. Things like being able to write custom JavaScript over the list. But in our case, what we really want to have is a details page that fires towards our details page that we built just a moment ago. And that's going to be our project details page. So there it is in the list. And we can say view details as our quick there. And then we'll save and close that. We can also make changes to our basic form that we built for construction project data. You'll see that up here at the top. It is in read-only, and it's checking the query string to find the parameter of ID. So that's perfect. That's just what we wanted. There are all kinds of options that you can set inside these basic forms. This one is really just working inside of a read-only context, so there's not a whole lot of extra that we're going to put into it today, but I want to show you here inside of the management app. All right, if we go back to our design studio, any changes that we made in the management app, we can sync them back to our site using the sync button here at the top corner. And once that's synced back up, we'll be able to scroll down and see in the project list now that there's a drop-down arrow. And if we were to preview this site on our desktop, it'll pop up here and we'll be able to see those changes live on a website. Now, right now, this website is in private mode, meaning that it's sort of in a development state where only folks that are logged in with AD credentials into Power Pages application will be able to see the site. But once you want to put it live, you can just add it to the live, flip it to live, and then anybody can see what's visible in the public pages. So here we see our project list, see the search bar up and running, and we can click on our Go to the Details page, and it'll open up showing all the details of our project right online in the page quickly. Now you can get certainly much deeper than this as you go down the path of building into these applications, things like adding, uploading images and making the content itself a little richer as we go along. But this is the primary sort of structure of building a data style application and even securing it for your end customers. So we'll go back to our design studio. And I'm going to take another moment here to add in what I would consider a personalization feature using our code editor. So we're going to go to Visual Studio Code for the web, which we can reach with just a quick button click inside of the Design Studio. It'll open Visual Studio Code for us, which again gets us a little deeper into that Fusion team developer context where we can literally see the code behind all of these pages and make changes to them in real time on the web. So here we are on our homepage. You can see that our designer copilot or developer copilot is kicked in. And what I want to do on our homepage, I'm just going to click us back to it, is I want to take a chunk of the site and make it only visible once somebody is authenticated to see it. So let's take maybe the section from the FAQ down and make that, or maybe from the project list down, sorry, and make that all only visible once an authenticated user shows up. So we're going to go in to Visual Studio Code, and we're going to ask Copilot to help us with that particular change. So make the only visible to authenticated. All right, now Copilot's going to go off and work on that for a moment. While it's doing that, we're going to find the section that we want to make visible, so we can see it here. This is the class, the div that has our list in it. So I'll make some room, and you'll notice here it says if we want to add this liquid code, if user, and then end the if statement after our list is done. Right? So if user, I think we're right here, so we want to drop that in. We end the if statement, and then we save this off. Now this save is saving this change back into the management app that we were in earlier. If we go back to the Design Studio and sync it up, we're going to see that this page then becomes a custom component because it's had code edited in it. Yeah. And if we go back to preview it on the website, the sync now only shows up to the FAQ statement, and it doesn't show our list any longer. All right. So now, if we go to the sign-in page, and we log into the site, what we're going to see is Now that we have a user, the project list appears. So this gives us a great example of personalizing the site to specific changes. And what we did with the if user statement could easily be extended or adapted to include things like if user is of a web role of type X, or if user's account is a customer, then show this thing. So that literally every page of the site, as you need it, can be detailed down to showing very specific content to very specific groups of users. All right. Now, with all of that, there's a few other sections to the designer that I'd like to walk us through just to give us a quick look at what else we can do before we bring our demo to a close. If we go to the styling area of the designer now, you'll notice that we're in a particular theme, this blue and yellow theme. If we want to make changes or take advantage of one of the existing styles that we've already shipped with the solution, you'll see that we can easily, jump between colors. Certainly could update the brand as needed as we go along. If we want to take advantage of one of these and then configure it to change out which of the colors is more prominent inside of the brand, that all is very easy to do from here. And then certainly if your brand has very specific styling that needs to be created or managed, we have full access to all of the HTML and CSS, and you can write whatever you need to fit your brand there. When we go to our data section, you'll see that the construction project data has been added into the tables that are being used in this site, and all the other tables that we have inside of Dataverse are made available to us here to just give us examples of what we could use. And it's very easy right from here to make changes to our forms and views that we're using in the site. And last, but certainly not least, we're going to go through a quick run through of the setup features here. You'll see the site details of our site, how secure it is. Running the site checker would give us sort of a score on how well we've managed the security of the site. If we were going to go live, there's a full checklist there. We can choose to spin up different identity providers. So right now I logged into the site with my Azure credentials, my AD credentials rather. We can certainly add all kinds of other credentialing agents there, as well as running Azure AD B2C to connect with all kinds of different authentication providers. In the security section, we can see all the different table permissions that we've had added to the site. In this case, we just added the one for the project list. And like I mentioned earlier, we can update the site visibility to show it to a public group or just to our private group that we're in today. Now, last but not least, we're going to talk a little bit about extending pages and including third-party applications. So first one that I want to talk about is chatbots or copilots. It's very, very easy to spin up a new copilot over one of our sites. It'll instantly create the copilot and then target its answers at content that comes from the Pages site. So all the content that you've created here would be available inside the copilot, and publishing it is literally just a button click away. If we go in to our Cloud Flows area, it's very easy to start to add new Cloud Flows that you've built inside of Power Automate into the site and make them part of the context. In fact, I've already spun up the DocuSign integration, and that would be an easy flow to add into our solution for this site today. And following those directions would get us to a completed solution. And then last but not least, we're adding an integrations area. You'll see DocuSign is our first one, and walking through those quick steps would get you to a DocuSign integrated solution.
Thank you very much, Corey. I hope this lesson was really helpful for you all. If you have any further questions or want to dive deeper, please reach out to Microsoft team. We'll be able to help you, and have a great day.